For 8.7, I want to start off by having you do this little warm-up. So go ahead and pause the video and take a look at those, and then I'll go over the answers with you. I've ended up with the values of 2.61, 2.69, and 2.71. As you can see, they are very, very, very close, but they are approaching something that is called E. All right, E is the number 2.71828 and so on. It is an irrational number like pi. It goes on forever. Okay, it's also denoted by the square root of 2. Okay, if you type in the square root of 2 in your calculator, oh, it's not the square root of 2. It's the square root of something. I'll look into that. So this is the base for natural exponential functions. It is a naturally occurring number that appears in a vast number of mathematical problems. The function y equals e to the x is called the natural exponential function. So let's talk about operations with e. Okay, our operations with e works just like normal stuff. Okay, our normal exponential things. So if you were to simplify all of these, okay, then you're going to enter the values into your calculator and round to the nearest hundredth. So as always, we would then add exponents here. Okay, if you type it into your calculator does have an E button. It is after you hit second and then this ln one. Okay, it says e to the x. You would do that and then hit 8 and you get 2,980.95797. So we have 2980.96. For the next one, we would do a very similar thing, right? We start simplifying. So 3 over 12, we can put a 4 in the denominator. And our numerator would just be e, right? Because 3 minus 2 is 1. It goes where the larger one's at. Now, when you type that into your calculator, make sure you put a 1 as your exponent because that is e to the first, right? If you do e to the first divided by 4, you get 0.68. On the next one, you would distribute that squared to both. So we're squaring the 2, and then we're doing e to the third squared. 2 squared is 4. E to the third squared would be e to the sixth. If we do 4e to the 6th in our calculator, we get 1,613.72. And the last one. Okay, we treat this just like a normal square root. We know the square root of 16 is 4. But the square root of e to the 5th, we're not sure about. We can think about this 2 different ways. It's e to the 5 halves, or simplify it by doing e to the 4th and e. Remember, e to the 4th, we could take the square root of. It becomes e squared because we take this 2 and put it in the denominator. And then the square root of e is left over. So we really have 4e squared, square root of e. If you type that into your calculator, 4e squared, square root of e. And again, if you're just using e, you do need to put 1 as the exponent. You get 48.73. So if you want to rewrite x equals e to the y as a log, you would have log base e of x equals y. Okay, now log base e is actually represented by something else. Log base e is actually ln. Hence why we had to do the second and then ln to get your e to the exponent in your calculator. That's because it is the inverse of it. So you can use ln, which is natural logs, the same way that we have used logs and common logs. It's the same thing. The only thing is occasionally you have to use your e. Okay, so this is really log base e of e. So first off, we want to type these into your calculator. So use your calculator to type in ln 0.126. You get negative 2.07 for the first one. Next one, 3 ln of 4.2. Make sure you close your parentheses, plus 5. You should get 9.31. And on the next one, we have ln of e times e to the fourth. If we do that, it's really ln of e to the fifth, right? Because ln of e times e to the fourth, we can add those exponents, and it's e to the fifth. If you do that, you get 5. Notice how it just canceled ln and e. They are inverses, so they do cancel each other. So we're going to use natural logs to solve the following. So anytime you see an e, you need to use natural logs. So like on one's like number 8. Instead of logging both sides, because we have an e, we need to use the ln. So we still throw that 2x plus 3 out in front, and we have ln of e equals ln of 4. Well, hopefully from before we realized that ln of e, if we type that in our calculator, we end up just getting 1, right? Because ln and e cancel. So you can automatically just cancel them if you want. So now we have 2x plus 3 equals ln of 4. And all we have to do is subtract 3. ln of 4 and then minus 3 is negative 1.6137, and so on. If we take that number in our calculator and divide by 2, we get x equals negative 0.8, let's go 4 decimal places, 069. For number 9, I have ln, so the way to get rid of ln is e both sides. We are going to exponentiate. So we have 3x plus 5 equals e to the fourth. If we solve for x, we would subtract 5, and then we would divide by 3. So 3x would equal e to the fourth minus 5, which is 49.598, and so on. Divide by 3, x is 16.5327. So we only have a couple more. Feel free to stop the video and try these 4 on your own, and I'm going to keep going and working on them with you. So for number 10, I need to isolate e before I do anything. So we would subtract 4, and then we would divide by 3 to get e by itself. At this point, I need to ln both sides to get rid of e. So we have negative x equals ln of 2/3. So ln of 2/3 is negative 0.4055, which means positive x would be positive 0.4055. For number 11, I need to get rid of that negative 4 before I do anything. So we have ln of 2x equals 26 divided by 4, which is 6.5. At this point, to cancel ln, we e both sides. So we have 2x equals e to the 6.5. And all we have to do is divide by 2. If you type in your calculator, e 6.5 and then divided by 2, you end up getting 332.5708. The last two are done similar to what we just did. On number 12, we need to subtract 3 and divide by negative 4 before we ln both sides. So we have e to the 2x equals 2, which means we ln both sides, and it cancels on the left. So we get 2x equals ln of 2, which means x is ln of 2 divided by 2. That makes x 0.3466. And on number 13, we would add 5. So we have 2 ln of x equals 10. Then we need to divide by 2 and we get ln of x equals 5. To cancel ln, we will e both sides. So x equals e to the 5th. And if you type in e to the 5th in your calculator, you get x to be 148.4132.